Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots. Today we're going to make some cute little package ties and ornaments. So I'm going to be using macrame cord, but we'll talk about options. You need some wood beads or wood flatbacks. That is a piece of candy I'm going to eat. You need a comb or a brush. You also need some cinnamon sticks. These are a pack that I got last year, so I can't use them for food much anymore, so I'm just going to use them for crafts. And there's a whole bunch of different variety in here. So we have the regular ones that you buy. We have these big honking ones, and then we also have the teeniest tiny little stirrers. We used those for stirrers last year in our hot cocoa. But I'm going to cut it in half and make package ties out of them. These are all package ties, but the bigger ones could actually double as ornaments. And I'm just going to give you a tip on the string if you want to do that. So I'm going to tell you, we are going to use a 3mm or a 4 size medium weight yarn. So you can see here, I'm using 3 different colors. I actually made a whole bunch of different ones of these, but this is 3mm macrame cord. I'm gonna put the link to it below because it's a huge difference when you jump sizes like that. So you can make it with the bigger size, but you'll have to have a very big cinnamon stick to use these measurements. So I'm going to cut 7 16-inch pieces for the hat. Now, if you want this as an ornament, you're cutting 6 16-inch pieces and 1 24-inch piece. That'll be your middle piece. For the beard, you're going to cut 12 12-inch pieces for the beard. Now, if you're doing the tiny package ties, you only need 9 of the beard and 5 of the hat. So, whichever one you want to do. When you are working with this stuff, I find it's easier to unfurl a bit, but I do start with the slicker brush to sort of break everything up. I hold it in one hand and then I just start brushing. It takes, I think this took me about 9.5 minutes. I got a little knot, but I just divided out this set into 3 sets because we need it on 3 loops. That's all. So as for the process, it's just going to be a lark's head knot, which is really just a loop. So we're going to fold it in half and loop the ends through the folded portion onto the cinnamon stick. So I'm going to do a couple of different ways you could do it. That's the first one. Here's the second one. But the idea is I'm just going to put one on to anchor the piece, and then I'm going to make my lark's head loop and then pull down the bottom because we're going to thread in each of these little sections into the next 3 loops. And it's a little easier if you fold the beard in half and then pass it through that way, but I have to do stuff the hard way to show you. All right, so there you go. And then we're going to pull the lark's head knot up, making sure that it's not twisted. It'll just sit a little bit better and hold a little bit better. So once you pull it up, now it's locked into place. I'm just going to scoot it down and then proceed with the next one. So the third way is just like this. You can lay it on top, loop the bottom under, and pull the string through, and then pull the bottom down. See, there's a whole bunch of ways to do it, so don't get confused. All you have to do is create a lark's head knot, don't pull it tight, and loop on some beard material. That's it. Super simple. As for timing, if you want to make these as a girls' night craft or a family night holiday craft, you're going to need about 15 minutes per ornament. The package ties go a little bit faster because they're smaller. And the only real time that is spent on this is about 9 minutes brushing or unrolling all of the beard material. So if you want to do that ahead of the time, if you're working with kids, maybe a good idea. All right, so now we have the third one on, and now we're going to add another anchored one. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just here to give you some ideas, but I would suggest at least 2 anchor pieces on either side of the beards in order to hold everything in place well. You can add 3 if you have like this size cinnamon stick, you can add 3. So you can see here I have 3 holding on the beard, 1 on each end, and now I'm going to tie 1 more on each end. So you're also going to want to cut about an 8 to 10 inch piece so that we can tie the hat together. So you're just going to lay all of those pieces flat, find the center, and do yourself a favor, not that one. Get ready because we do not want to cut our hanging piece. So just put tape on it, whatever you want to do, just make sure you have it. Making sure the rest of them are flat, you're just going to tie them off with that extra piece. You can add a bit of glue there if you want. You can pull the knotted one away and then trim this. I unfurled this and brushed it out and then trimmed it again. You can see it's a little long, but you can make it whatever size you want. You can cut most of that off and put a pom-pom on there with some hot glue, whatever you want. Just here with an idea. So now I'm just going to give that a little trim. And again, if you are putting these on a tree as an ornament, you do want to cut that center one quite a bit longer. But again, minor package ties, just decorating the thing. I cut off the bottom of our tie for the hat. I just incorporated the top one in the actual hat itself. Now I'm going to brush this out, and I would recommend getting a cutting mat or a cutting board and just using a rotary cutter, but you can absolutely hold this up and cut it with scissors. Whatever you want, what kind of shape you want. I'm doing a very pointed beard. Missed a whole section right there, but that is it for me. These are easy to make. They're super quick. I'm going to show you the way to put on the noses. All I did was decide on a size and glue it on. You can absolutely hand sew on a nose if you are so inclined. I am not. All right, so here's the little BB package ties, really small, and then here's the regular size ones. That's it for me today. Please like, share, and subscribe for more crafting fun.